Hello and welcome back to my channel. I realise it's been a really long time, so I apologise for that, but it's been a hectic 3 months. So today I'm going to do my first video on notes from a psychology student's scrapbook, and I'm going to talk about a specific therapy that I've come to embrace and learn lately and utilise in my own life that I really like. And it's called acceptance and commitment therapy, also known as ACT. It provides a alternative to CBT, which is, I feel, more widely known and more widespread and used. And I'm just going to go through what ACT is, what makes it different to CBT, and how, when you can utilize it in your own life, and how you can utilize it, and personally how it's helped me. So, and I'll give you some exercises as well, but I'll recommend some books as well for you to read if it sounds like a therapy that you might want to get into. And I'd love you to leave comments below on whether you've applied it, whether it's worked, whether you know about it, or just how you feel about it in general. So stay tuned. It's a really good question, and ACT therapy is really good when you feel that you're stuck in your own emotions, you feel very painful emotions that you're trying to avoid, and you just keep saying to yourself, I just want to be happy, I just really want to be happy. Or it can be used when you feel that you're avoiding things that really matter to you. It's very powerful because it's based on combining acceptance and mindfulness techniques with behavior change strategies. So the core tenet of ACT is, instead of trying to get rid of painful thoughts and feelings, it encourages us to accept them and even feel them and embrace them, and still commit to actions that align with our values. So it's about living a meaningful life even with its challenges, rather than, do you ever find yourself saying, once I feel happy, then I can start. Once I solve all my problems, then I can start. The idea of ACT is to learn that you are always going to have problems, you're always going to feel sad, struggle, or because we're human and that's how humans are. But even within those struggles, you can still commit to a meaningful life that aligns with your values. The way in which ACT differs from traditional therapies such as CBT is predominantly based on the idea that you should fix or rewire your thoughts and feelings and emotions, and the underlying message behind that is that there's something wrong with having emotions and feelings, and negative ones. There's good and bad, which vilifies negative emotions. And it also provides the idea that it's not normal to experience these emotions, that normal is happy. Whereas the idea behind ACT is that all emotions are normal, difficult emotions are just as normal as the happy ones, and just as valid. So we're not trying to fix or eliminate those. Instead, we're trying to make room for them and still live a life that is close to our values. So this therapy can help us get unstuck with the idea of once I, then I. So there are 6 core principles in ACT therapy, and I'm just going to break them down and give you exercises in each. The first one is acceptance. So this means allowing our emotions and thoughts to be as they are, rather than fighting them or challenging them or trying to rewire them as more traditional therapies such as CBT try to achieve. So acceptance doesn't mean we have to like them. It doesn't mean we have to go around saying, yeah, I'm so happy that I'm sad or guilty. But we just make space for them without judgment, which is where the mindfulness components come in. One I like to use is leaves on a stream. So you imagine your thoughts and feelings are just leaves on a stream. You're watching the stream and you just watch them pass by, and you don't look at the leaves and try and control the leaves or touch the leaves or move the leaves. You just let them pass by. The second principle in ACT therapy is cognitive diffusion, which is about changing the way we relate to our thoughts. So instead of seeing thoughts as facts, we can learn to see them as just thoughts and sort of remove ourselves a little bit from them, which can help us feel not as controlled by them. So one technique that I really like to use is the I'm having a thought that. So instead of thinking I'm a failure, I'm going to be sacked, or I'm going to fail my exams, you can just put the line I'm having a thought that I'm a failure. I'm having a thought that I'm going to fail my exams. I'm having a thought that I'm going to be sacked. The third principle is where mindfulness comes in, which is being present. So being present means focusing on the here and now, rather than getting lost in the past or future, which is so easy to do. I do it all the time. It helps us feel grounded and less overwhelmed. There are so many grounding exercises, such as the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise, where you notice 5 things you see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste, which helps you be present in the ground and grounded in the current moment. I like to put a reminder on my phone to ground me every couple of hours. So I do that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise. This fourth one's a little bit complicated, so bear with me. It's the idea of self as context, which is a bit more abstract, but it's about understanding that we are more than our thoughts and emotions. So you are not your thoughts and emotions. So it's about saying to yourself, yes, they are part of you, but they are not you. So one good visualization I like is to think of a chessboard, and all the pieces on the chessboard are anger, happiness, or your specific thoughts, recurring thoughts that you always have. You are not the pieces. You are the chessboard, and the pieces are just part of you. Or another one is you close your eyes and you picture yourself as an observer of your thoughts and emotions. So you're watching them as if they're characters in a movie, but you're just watching them, and you're the person who notices them rather than being them themselves. ACT therapy plays a huge emphasis on values, which I think is very important and missing from traditional therapies such as CBT. Values are like your inner compass, so the things that matter most to you. So it's super important to identify them, and it helps give you direction and guide your life. So for example, you can write down the values you find meaningful: family, creativity, honesty, and choose the top 3 that resonate with you and reflect on how they shape your actions. So the final principle is the committed action, which follows on from values, whereby you take steps to align to those values, even when it's hard, which it will be many times. So some exercises are setting SMART goals, or tiny steps commitment. So you break down your value into actionable tiny goals and take steps every day to work towards those goals to live in line with your values. So ACT has been shown to be really helpful in a range of issues, from anxiety to depression, chronic pain and addiction. One of the biggest benefits of ACT is it helps people feel more resilient and empowered. Instead of fighting our minds all the time, which can take so much time and effort, we learn to make room for whatever shows up and stay connected to what truly matters to us. So if you feel that you like this therapy and want to continue learning more about it or implementing it or learn more, there are several resources which I can recommend. In terms of books, I think the best book to start with is The Happiness Trap. So I've got it here. It's by Russ Harris. So this is a really good starting guide, but there are more that once you get more into it. So just remember, ACT is all about acceptance while moving forward. So you take committed actions to the life you want, even while you feel whatever emotion you may feel, rather than waiting for the emotion to go away before you start. I hope this video has helped. Just let me know. Let me know if you want more about ACT itself or different therapies, and thank you for watching.